about set to go here at the Wells Fargo Center. The Flyers and Blue Jackets. They meet just one time this year. Blue Jackets have never won in this building. 0-3-1.
Let's take a look at our key starting goaltender. Steve Mason looks to bounce back to the season. You see the record 2-9 wins. Looks to get his third in a row for the Flyers and an all-important victory here at home.
Steve Mason coming off that rough outing and actually coming off a couple of rough years after that Calder Trophy winning season, but he really wants to bounce back tonight, and Bryzgalov trying to build, as Jonesy mentioned, off of his last two performances. Bryzgalov saw plenty of these Blue Jackets when he was with the Phoenix Coyotes and Anaheim Ducks. Flyers wearing their road whites here tonight. Alternate jerseys being worn by the Blue Jackets, so the Flyers helped out into their road jerseys. Give the hometown fans a look at the white tops here tonight as we're underway. The puck cleared into the Columbus zone. Back to get to it is James Wisniewski, one of their big acquisitions during the offseason. He is checked. Number 47 in white. And that is Eric Wellwood, who's getting his first game this season. That shot on goal by Nash, directed into the safety netting by Bryzgalov. Here are the virtuous scratches. And a lot of them for the Blue Jackets. Of course, the name at the top of the list there, Jeff Carter, the one that a lot of people were hoping to see play here tonight, but he is out with a foot injury. Could be back within a week or so. A lot of other injuries as well for this Blue Jackets club. The Flyers have made some changes. Wellwood is up and in the lineup. And we also had Jody Shelley out of the lineup. And Andreas Nola out of the lineup. And James Van Riemsdyk back for the Flyers. The Columbus combinations at the top of your screen right now. Nash, their star player, pokes that puck through to Fedor Tutin at the line. Now to Wisniewski. Wisniewski's shot. Stick save. Bryzgalov, and it bounces all the way out to Jagr, and he'll move up. He's got Hartnell with him on the rush. Jagr on the right wing. The pass to Hartnell. And goal! He fired it wide, and then he's knocked into the net, off the post and into the boards, and there will be a penalty. Stefan Auger making that call. Paul Dvorsky, the other referee. Steve Barton and Thor Nelson will handle the lines tonight.
James Wisniewski gets the penalty for hooking. Scott Hartnell doing a good job of holding up at the blue line, not going offside. Gets the feed from Jagr and tries to fire it high glove, and just a tiny little hook from Wisniewski.
How about our Verizon Wireless keys for the game? Don't take Columbus for granted because of their record. You got to work hard. Not like the other night against the New Jersey Devils, and do a better job with those outlet passes coming out of your own zone, guys. Because just too many turnovers the other night caused problems.
I'm going to add a third key to that list.
Okay.
Gutsy, get the power play going, and they get an early chance here. The power play 0 for its last 16 and 1 for 23 over the last 5 games. And they're 0 for 6 against New Jersey. This power play doesn't last very long. Matt Carl couldn't keep the puck in the zone and then got his stick into the midsection of a Columbus player. And so the power play lasts all of 7 seconds. So that third key, Coatsy, will have to wait a little longer for them to work on it.
Yeah, interference right away. Matt Carl has that puck chip past him, and Columbus player does a real nice job in drawing attention to get that call. It was Sammy Paulson, and Matt Carl heads to the box.
Oh, we'll get a look at 4-on-4 hockey instead. Columbus eventually will get a 7-second power play of their own, unless there are other penalties. The draw to the left of Bryzgalov. He's already seen a couple of shots fired his way. And the Blue Jackets win the draw. Here's Tutin for a cross-ice pass. He gets it to Klitschko for the shot. Save Bryzgalov, and he's able to pin it against his pad with Antoine Vermette digging away. And so a third shot on goal in the first minute for Bryzgalov, and Peter Laviolette has to be happy that his goaltenders handled those without any trouble.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with the way that Bryzgalov has bounced back. 2 consecutive victories and a real good start in this game. A lot of traffic in front of Bryzgalov there, and he calmly got his glove on that puck and froze it.
Now the face-off to his right. Briere and Vermette dueled, and the Flyers come up with the puck. Gustafsson will drop it back. Andre Mazaros will look to start the rush. This passes to Gustafsson, and now the rink-wide feed knocked down by Van Riemsdyk, but he could not control it. Blue Jackets get it to the line. Briere able to keep it in. Got it to Mazaros, stick handling his way to the circle, and then turning back to Briere for the shot that went wide. Van Riemsdyk fishing for the carom. He gets to it. He's pursued all the way out toward the line. Gustafsson will roll it back in along. And now it's Briere dropping it for Gustafsson. Gustafsson giving some room. Centers. Van Riemsdyk scores! James back to the lineup. And the Flyers take the 1-0 lead, playing some 4-on-4 and a breakdown by the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, and some great rotation by the Flyers. Gustafsson jumping down, a perfect feed. Right on the tape to Van Riemsdyk. What a pass from Gustafsson and what a shot by James Van Riemsdyk.
Look at the position. Sticks on the ice. Just give it to me. Put it on the tape. I'll let the quick one go. And he just drills it by Mason into the far corner. But like you mentioned, Jonesy, the pass is so important to be able to set up that type of shot.
Eric Gustafsson will get his first National Hockey League point and becomes yet another Flyer rookie to get a point this season. And in fact, with Eric Wellwood in the lineup for the Flyers, the 8th rookie they've had put on a jersey in a regular season game this year. That is the most in the NHL. Big Voracek, the former Blue Jacket, gets some rough treatment from his former teammate Mark Mathot, who took him off the puck. And now Nash the other way. He's so dangerous in transition. Trying to stay with him is Coburn, but Nash gets the puck back behind the net. Out the other side. Nash back to the point, Mathot, and then right back to the captain, but his pass off a skate, still gathered by Mathot, flipped it toward the net, but it's batted down by Coburn, who headmans to Voracek, and it's a 3-on-2 for the Flyers. Voracek on the right wing holds his pass across to Talbot. Deeks, goalie is out of the net, but the puck did not come back out in front, but there will be a penalty, a tripping call, and it'll be a 4-on-3 as we head downstairs to our man inside the glass, Steve Coates.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Scott Arniel, the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. A lot of heat on this guy. Originally a number 2 pick way back in 1981. He played 11 seasons in the National Hockey League with Buffalo and the Winnipeg Jets. And you know what? He had a great career as a coach in the American Hockey League, where he was the coach of the year with the Manitoba Moose. But this is his first head coaching job with Columbus. And the way they're going right now, and with the days that they have off after this game, there is a lot of heat on this game tonight.
Well, when you go 2-10-1 after making acquisitions as they did in the offseason, even though they've had injuries, you're going to have whispers of a coaching change and perhaps a former coach coming back. Ken Hitchcock's name certainly has been out there.
Yeah, and Hitch is living in Columbus, so it's very easy to throw his name out there. Ken Hitchcock, terrific National Hockey League coach, but had his troubles coaching the Columbus Blue Jackets in the past.
4-on-3 right now. Penalty was on Mason. Nash is serving. Here's Giroux. Teaming in back to Giroux. Looking for a lane. Giroux takes the shot. There was a screen set up by Hartnell, but the shot missed the target and went all the way out to center and down the ice.
Really good idea there by Claude Giroux, as Scott Hartnell had that perfect screen set up. Mason didn't see it at all, but Giroux's shot just missed the far post.
Now it's a 4-on-4, 5-on-4 situation as Hartnell moves in. It's 4-on-4 ever so briefly, but back to a man advantage for the Flyers. And Jagger centers, they score! Hartnell was there, went off of either Hartnell or the defenseman, and it's a power play goal. There's that key, Coatsy. They're on the board with a power play. There's your winner in the McDonald's power play payoff as the Flyers score for a case of Tasty Cakes and lead it 2-0.
Scott Hartnell just set up in front again. You'll see that puck. Yager recognizes there's traffic in front, throws it that way, and it goes off, I believe, Feder Teuton's stick and past goalie Steve Mason.
Well, the coverage was there. Mason comes off the pipe, I thought, a little early, giving the opportunity for that puck just to go between the pad and the post. But Yager knows he's got Hartnell there, just fired out, waited for something to happen.
Originally looked as though it was off Teuton, but right now I understand the credit has been given to Scott Hartnell. They are waiting for, well, they're going to look at this one. And they're not reviewing this to find out who scored. They're reviewing to see if indeed it is a legal goal. I didn't see anything in there that would indicate it would not count.
Whenever there's feet in around the puck, they'll look to see if there was a distinct kicking motion. You can see it goes off Feder Teuton's stick and past the goaltender Mason, who tried to move post to post. Hartnell was sitting in front. And I don't believe Hartnell touches this, but there is the stick of Feder Teuton in front of the skate of Scott Hartnell. And it just heads in the goal. Mason looks on. He was trying to slide across in anticipation of Matt Carl jumping in.
They're getting reamed out this year for not
After reviewing the play, decision on the ice stand, good goal.
Stefan Auger with the call, making it official. And we do believe eventually this will, I think, be Jaromir Jagr's goal. That angle almost looked like it might have caught Hartnell's stick too, but we believe it'll eventually. And it's back there now, giving it to Jaromir Jagr. So, Jaromir Jagr continues his point streak, 7 straight games now. Giroux and Timonen get the helpers at 3:09 as the Flyers break a scoreless slump on the power play. And point shot there, fought off by Mason. Flyers working hard to get that puck again. Couturier was in there, so was Harry Zolnachuk. Now it's Pizarros to Couturier. Checked and taken down. There's Couturier by Derek McKenzie. Flip the puck ahead, and now the Blue Jackets move up. Johnson in across the line. His shot stick saved his goal off, and into the safety netting it goes, bringing about the whistle-stopping play.
Let's take a look at our Geico quote of tonight's game, and newcomer Jake Voracek, who's with the Philadelphia Flyers now, coming from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He just wants to play good, do his best as always, and hopefully help the team to win and show Columbus that they made a mistake trading him.
Always a tough game. You're first against the team that originally drafted you and gave you the opportunity in the NHL. You're fired up for it. You want to do well, but you're also a little bit discombobulated every time you see that team on the ice. I found myself heading towards the wrong bench a few times when I played the Caps for the first time.
You did that before you were traded.
Yeah, I could do that on any given night, actually. But it's not easy.
No,
it's not an easy game.
And, you know, he actually, and we'll get back to that here as Calvert gets to the puck here. And the Blue Jackets looking a little dangerous as they get the puck to the slot area. But Simmons has it now for Philadelphia. Jake Voracek left Columbus on real good terms, but didn't really like what was said after he left. He's got a little complaining a little bit about Jake perhaps being out of shape last year, and Jake disagreed with that, and so he said that gave him extra motivation for this game here tonight. Simmons knocked down, and the puck tipped ahead. And now Calvert will throw it in ahead of the neutral zone. Now, a very impressive youngster, Ryan Johansson, for this Columbus club. 19 years of age. He recently played in his 10th game, so he's likely here for the season. Van Riemsdyk knocked down. Might have just touched that puck, so no interference call. And Van Riemsdyk heading right back to the bench. It was time for a change, but I thought he looked a little gimpy as he got up after taking that hit. Back goes Kimmo Timonen. The puck away from Vinny Prospal out the other side and down the ice. Better Tootin, the former Ranger, back to get to it. Signed a big contract with the Blue Jackets just before the season started. Got the puck ahead. But Derek Brassard is poke checked there, and the play is offside. Now it's time to look at our Ram trivia question of the game. And we ask you, what is the Flyers' overall record against the Columbus Blue Jackets? Here are the choices. As you can see, they haven't played all that many games against them. And unless you think it's C, Flyers have been very successful against Columbus. We can't really say much after showing that, or we're going to give it away. I might have already given it away, haven't I?
I don't think it's C.
He's going to give it away. But they don't see much of each other, that's for sure. In fact, it's been more than a calendar year since these teams played. Their last meeting was back in October of last year in Columbus. Their first meeting in Philadelphia in almost 2 years. Albert trying to get a shot through there, but it's blocked aside, and Feder Tootin has it. Long outlet off the stick. Sammy Paulson deep into the Philadelphia zone. Zaros is back, gets some help from Andreas Lilja. Flyers having a little trouble in the corner with the puck as Voracek is trying to maneuver up with it. By the other side of the ice, nice touch pass there by Wellwood to Mazaros. Mazaros for Max Talbot. Talbot interfered with some, but got through the check. He takes the shot, stick save Mason. And it bounces all the way out to Cam Atkinson just up from the minors. Diminutive player, but he's got a ton of skill. He lit it up in college hockey, and he's back here. Columbus after playing pretty well a couple games earlier this year. And now the Flyers get to the puck. Zach Rinaldo ahead to Zolnachuk. Zolnachuk, the wrist shot, save Mason, rebound, jammed wide. Zolnachuk back after it. He'll turn the puck into the corner where it's knocked down and gathered by McKenzie. And he'll clear the zone for Columbus. 5-4 the shots in favor of Philadelphia. 2-0 where it counts as we approach 6.5 minutes into this first period. Matt Carl move up for Philadelphia, gain the red line. Tried to get the puck deep into the Columbus zone, did not, but the lead pass for Nash going the other way was in his skates. Still into the zone they go, Derek Brassard. Brassard, an angle shot right into the chest of Brizgalov. He'll pin it right there and hang on, and we'll get a whistle and a stoppage in play. Good start for the Flyers in this one. James Van Riemsdyk, the first goal. And then dirty but good, Jaromir Jagr made it 2-0.
The guy in the left Yes, that's Jeff Carter. Everybody anticipated being able to see him tonight in a Columbus Blue Jackets uniform, but no. He's sitting out right now with a broken foot. And the guys that came over from Columbus in the trade, Voracek, the guy in the middle, and the guy in the right came as a #1 draft pick who's been a real good one so far, and that's Sean Couturier.
Jeff Carter always was a little camera shy. Here's Scott Hartnell with a pass in the middle of the team, and then back to Hartnell, a shot. Mason, a sliding save. Good stop there by Mason, who's just trying to get his bearings in this game after being pulled in the last game for Columbus and giving up a couple early here tonight. That puck stays in play, and Giroux will throw it out to Jágr in center. Jágr with Coburn driving the net, holds on. Then I'm not sure if he fanned on that or missed it intentionally. You never know with Jágr, and the puck ends up on Hartnell's stick in the corner. Back out to Coburn. He drifts one wide. Rebound, Jágr. Mason falls back in there to deny the Flyers at the side of the net.
Coburn was trying to make that slap pass to Jaromir Jágr, who was coming in from behind the net, and Jágr quickly turned around and got it off the end boards, trying to beat Steve Mason, who had a couple of big saves in the last 30 seconds or so. As that one catches him right in the mask, Jágr actually got a stick on that.
One of the negatives about Mason, he's a big guy. Now, he won the Calder Trophy as the Rookie of the Year back in 2009, but he overplays the puck. Sometimes he slides out of the play, and he has a tough time recovering. He's a big man, and these are things he's got to work on. You could see a couple of chances early where he had problems just sliding around.
Yeah, really, consistency has eluded him ever since that Calder Trophy winning season. And in defense of him, he hasn't had great clubs in front of him either, but the other night, his club completely dominated the team with the most points in the NHL, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they lost basically because he was shaky. They outshot the Leafs 39-18 and lost 4-1. And Scott Arniel, the head coach, did not shy away from saying that it was all about goaltending. Here's Danny Briere moving up. Aaron Johnson is back. Briere, the shot, save Mason. And he steadied himself in this one. He's made 3 or 4 stops to keep his club within 2 here in the early goings. The Flyers are trying to pour it on the Blue Jackets early. They've outshot them 8-5. Simmons after the puck. He is checked and now moving ahead with it is Johansson. The 19-year-old winds it in. Calvert gets to it, centers, shot, and Brizgalov to say that one may have changed direction. Johansson took the original offering. Brizgalov able to get in the way of it. He's now stopped 6 Columbus shots.
Flyers have really done a nice job through the neutral zone, creating odd man rushes. That's something Columbus really wants to tighten up against. They need to do a better job getting in the way of those pucks like that play right there that heads into the bench. Following a 3-game road trip, the Flyers return to Philly with a Western Conference matchup against the Phoenix Coyotes, Ilya Brizgalov's old team. It's Super Pretzel Night.
Super Pretzel Night.
Dollar Pretzel Night. The Flyers will finish out the month with games on November 21st and 25th. For tickets, call 215-218-PUCK or visit Philadelphia.
Super Pretzel, Dollar Pretzel Night.
Yeah, that's a lot of pretzel.
What was that date?
Mark it down.
I know you've got it circled already, Coach, so you don't need to ask.
He's working on getting it on his iPod right now, his iPhone. But into the Columbus zone. Almost have to double clutch with that, Jones, with these uniforms. They don't look like the Columbus Blue Jackets. These 3rd jerseys, they're a completely different team.
Very old school looking jersey. I'm not sure who they look like.
They almost remind me of the old Hershey Berry uniforms.
That's right. That is true.
Puck set in. Brizgalov will get to Eric Gustafsson. Quick outlet for Max Talbot. He tries the right wing for Simmons. He was checked, and Gustafsson will get it back. An assist that Gustafsson picked up on Van Riemsdyk's goal. The 18th point for a Flyers rookie this year, which, depending on what Ottawa is doing, tie the Flyers for the lead in that category. We mentioned 8 rookies now have suited up for the Flyers. Here's Van Riemsdyk surging on in, and he's met by Tootin. Tries to spin away from him, but then lost an edge and went down. And a penalty is called out in center ice. Stefan Auger was looking at it. Paul Dvorsky was looking at it. Now a lot of players are looking at each other. In the corner, it was Auger who made the call from out in center. Dvorsky did not think it was a penalty.
Yeah, to me, I thought it was. I wasn't surprised to see the hand go up. The stick was in the feet of Van Riemsdyk, who made a real nifty move, I believe, around Fedor Tootin. It's Tootin that's heading to the box, and looked like he got his stick right on the skate or in around the skate of Van Riemsdyk after he did this little spinorama move. Real nice move by Van Riemsdyk, and then the stick of Tootin right there, trips him up. So good call by the officials, and the Flyers get another power play.
Oh, that's a good call. Old Rootin' Tootin' comes over from the Rangers. I always like that name. But he definitely chopped him down.
Tootin will be doing some rooting for the other penalty killers there. They try to kill this one off. The Flyers try to make it a 3-goal advantage. They get their 3rd man advantage of the game already. Well, this actually technically might be the 4th. As that puck deflects over the glass and out of play, there was a brief 4-on-3, and then they went to a 5-on-4. So we'll have to get confirmation as to whether this is it is their 4th. Rich Bradley is confirming that for me up here. 4th power play for the Flyers. Elaine Griffith from Minersville, Pennsylvania, hoping that they can put some money in her pocket as part of the McDonald's power play payoff. Briere, Hartnell, and Couturier up for Philadelphia. Up front. Teaming in. Look at that. Line with Jake Voracek. We go with the 4 forwards. Timo Timonen gives to Voracek, who's now going to move up front as he dishes in it. Couturier is after it. 2 Blue Jackets on 1 Flyer, so Hartnell goes in there to even things up. Now it's 3 Flyers in there, and they come away with the puck. Briere back to Couturier. He will bank it to Timonen. Timo to the middle of the ice, and then the saucer pass back to Couturier. 18-year-old, side of the net, Briere looking to get it in front to Hartnell, blocked off by Wisniewski. Now Voracek, a shot, save Mason, and he's able to cover Voracek. You know how badly he wants that goal against his former club.
The roaming all over the place on this power play for the Flyers, starting it on the point and then headed down near the goal line where he got that scoring opportunity. Has a couple words with R.J. Umberger there, his former teammate. And there's Voracek looking to shoot first and then jumping in there down low trying to find that puck, and does get a shot in on Mason.
And you know, Mason really seems to be struggling out there, Jonesy, really against the pipes. On both sides now, we see him just kind of really off balance.
Here he's got to deal with some congestion in front of him again. The puck to the point. Van Riemsdyk shot and the save made by Mason. The rebound. Jágr's shot, and that's denied. And Riemsdyk comes in, sweeps the puck back around behind the net. It squirts free, a race to the boards, and Cody Vass wins that race and clears it all the way down.
Well, a couple big saves for Mason right there in tight. One of them just off the stick of Jaromir Jágr. Jágr didn't quite get it to settle the way he wanted it to, but Mason was fortunate there.
Jágr dancing his way in across the line. Swoops to the right wing and then sets things up. Back to Van Riemsdyk, and now Carl. All the way across Jágr. Simmons is right in front of Mason. Trying to give him some difficulty there. Carl back out to the line, but that pass is behind Van Riemsdyk and goes out to center ice. A little too fancy. As Carl now moves it ahead. Jágr to Giroux. Giroux, left wing dish to Jágr, and Carl has it again. Back to Jágr. Simmons again, battling in front. Giroux holds on. Pass to the slot for Jágr. He has to chip it back to Giroux, and now the pass to Carl. Tough pass to handle. He's having some difficulty now with the checking, and did well to keep the Blue Jackets away from it. Giroux is then taken down in center, but no penalty called there. Blue Jackets get the puck back, cleared all the way down, and that'll do it with the Philadelphia man advantage. And then Coburn having some problems with the puck on the boards, but gets some help from Briere. Danny Briere zigging and zagging his way in across the line. Pass to Hartnell for a shot that went wide. The pass was tipped on its way to Hartnell, and that threw him off. And now the Blue Jackets back the other way. Here's Nash. Nash the angle shot, saved Brizgalov. Rebound poked back in on Brizgalov by Timonen. Brizgalov able to take care of that. Back to the point it goes to Klitzum. And now Prospel, side of the net, pass back out in front as Brassard tried to find the cutting player. No penalty called in front as Nash and Timonen got their sticks up. Timonen ended up without his helmet. And here's Prospel back into the zone to Nash for a shot. And it's blocked by Timonen. Back around behind the net now. Prospel trying to center, it's blocked. And Coburn able to tip to Couturier, and the Flyers should relieve the pressure here as Couturier will skate it up. He continues along the right wing feed. Now Ronaldo, a shot! And it tipped high in the air and evidently went out of play and bounced back in, and so play comes to a stop. 2-0 Flyers.
A lot of it had to do with their 4-on-4 play, as you'll see great rotation in our Audi Truth and Engineering play. And that's Danny Briere there. Up he goes. James Van Riemsdyk comes down, and keep an eye on Gustafsson. He's going to jump into the play. He does a real nice job, heads up play, beating his man. If we stop it again, you'll look in front. Van Riemsdyk is there. He's going to jump out, get himself in an open shooting position, and he buries the puck right there. Great job by the Flyers in a 4-on-4 situation.
They have been impressive in the offensive zone. They've already fired 11 shots Steve Mason's way. 2 of them have wound up in the net. Flyers again having a good first period. Well, they turn the puck over here. Johansson. Pass down low for Vermette, but he's checked. It's kept in at the point by Klickson, but gotten back by Philadelphia. Talbot across for Voracek. Surges on in. Voracek, the pass for Talbot. He scores! What a play! Voracek to Talbot. And Max Talbot now 4 goals in his last 5 games. The Flyers lead 3-0. Talbot scores for a case of Tasty Cakes.
From one end to the other, and Jake Voracek's got to feel good about this. It's Talbot that starts the play. It's Voracek that drives and makes a perfect feed. Talbot on the back end. Mason in good position, but just couldn't cover the bottom of the net.
And why didn't anybody pick up Talbot? Voracek with a great pass. Look at all the Columbus Blue Jackets watching Talbot get in behind the defense. Once he's there, oh, what a great play. But I just don't know where the defense went. Plus the forward was right there with him, Jonesy.
Yeah, and that's going to get a goalie change, and I don't know, I didn't think Steve Mason was that bad.
Wow.
I think the Columbus defense has been horrendous, but they're going to change goalies anyway.
Wow, and it's a second straight game for Mason to be pulled. He was pulled relatively early in the second period against Toronto. Doesn't make it even through the first period here tonight, and he's replaced by the rookie Alan York, 22-year-old out of RPI. He was playing in only his 4th NHL game. He's only had 1 start. And so, early whistle right after the draw. We had a couple of players scrapping. We've got at least 1 penalty, might be 2 here. Derek Dorsett has already made his way, as you see, to the box, and James Van Riemsdyk is following on a path toward the sin bin as well. So we'll get some more 4-on-4 hockey.
Columbus trying to send a message, at least to their teammates, that they want to compete in this game, and to their head coach Scott O'Neill. The goalie change is one thing, but the way the players in front of their goaltender have been working for the Columbus Blue Jackets has been unacceptable, and some of their grinders trying to wake things up, but Van Riemsdyk does a good job in battling with Dorsett.
It's always a question here, Jonesy. You know, Columbus, a guy like Dorsett would be looking maybe even to start a fight here to turn things around, but as a Flyer, do you want to engage it? I mean, what good does it do?
You don't. When you're up 3-0, you just stay out of it. There's no need to feed it.
Here's Wayne Simmons in. The only positive or only reason you would is some people would say, hey, you got to answer the bell, but there's a time and place, right?
I don't answer the bell against a team that's got 2 wins on the season and you're up 3-0 in the first period.
Yeah, and everything's going well for you right now. You're pretty much dominating them.
Timing's everything.
It is. It's a situational fight, right?
Riera across, Pizarros throws that one off the boards. And then it's checked. It fires a little of changing players. And now Aaron Johnson starts up. He is checked and stripped of the puck by Briere. Yager's charging. Here's Briere with the puck. Holds his pass, and I'm surprised that he didn't try to shoot there as it was tipped away, and now it's a 3-on-2 the other way. They move in Brassard to Nash, and he fires it wide. He has a very heavy shot, and that was point blank, but he missed the target. Yager to Coburn. Aiden Coburn as we go back and forth here in the 4-on-4. Coburn decides just to tuck the puck into the Columbus zone. 5.5 remaining in this first period. 3-0 Flyers. Van Riemsdyk, Yager, and Talbot have scored. Yager steals to Giroux. Shot. He scores! They're at it again. Oh, Giroux, Jaromir Yager continue their great chemistry. Giroux rings it in off the post. 4-0 Philadelphia. Giroux scores for a case of Tasty Cakes.
Yager put a clinic on Rick Nash in the corner. Nash obviously a top-notch forward, not doing a great job in his own zone as he gets beat there. Actually, Nash came down to try to help out his defender. A perfect feed from Yager to Giroux leads to the goal.
And once again, look at Giroux's position. He gets away from the traffic. Nobody there. And that's a heck of a shot to boot when you can bang it off that far pipe, especially as a right-hand shot.
And now Scott O'Neill, he's trying everything. He's pulled the goalie, now he's called his timeout as his team is in big trouble here, down 4.
Well, you tried the goalie pull. Now you try the timeout. And there's nothing left for Scott Arniel to do after this. These guys do not have a whole lot of action coming in the next week or so. And boy, the heat just keeps getting turned up on the head coach.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both of these teams have sort of breaks in their schedules as they're in the midst of playing 4 games in 15 days. The Blue Jackets and the Flyers 4 games in 14 days. This line wishes they were playing every day as they are piling up the points.
It's scary and how consistent they've been. Hasn't been necessarily a big breakout 4-point night and then take a couple off. These guys have been clicking and contributing on a nightly basis.
And also, Scott Hartnell was added to the trio. I mean, Yager and Drew were getting some points early in the year when James Van Riemsdyk was on the line, but it's really exploded since Hartnell has moved up there and added some grit and sandpaper, as they say, to the line. The thought bounces one deep into the Philadelphia zone. Prospo an angle shot that's gloved by Brizgalov. Already up 2. Max Talbot made it 3-0 Philadelphia, and then Claude Giroux off iron. Give them a 4-goal cushion.
Flyers up 4-0 here. Take a look on the right of your screen. That's Jacob Voracek. On the left, it's Max Talbot. This is the anatomy of a goal. Talbot heads up pass to Voracek, and Talbot heads right to the net, stick on the ice. Voracek hits him right on the tape, and Talbot puts it right through the wickets of Mason.
Now making it 3-0 Philadelphia. They've added another since. Flyers now 23 first period goals. Going into tonight, no other NHL team had more than 16. They have been getting off to good starts, and when they have been able to hold the leads to the end of the first period, they've been a very good team. They have not given up a point. There is Zach Rinaldo trying to send it. That one off Couturier at the side of the cage. Columbus picks it up and moves out. Lobbing one through center, swinging a miss for Lilia. And Atkinson gets to it. He's the MVP of the Frozen Four 2 years ago, BC. Lazarus around the other way. You see a guy like Atkinson, you see that he's not very big, Jonesy, and that's the reason he wasn't a high draft pick, but he has a ton of skill.
Whereas number 13 reminds me a bit of Ray Whitney. I wonder if that's one of the guys that he looks up to. Very similar style, and not a big guy, but has had a heck of an NHL career.
It'd be interesting to find out. Because if you wear 13, you know one thing, you're either following a guy like Ray Whitney, and you know you're not superstitious.
Very true.
Here's Lilia, turnover, Mathot shot deflected and went wide. Bounces to Johansson. Johansson into the corner. Calvert is taken out by Lilia. There's Van Riemsdyk lobbing it out of the zone. Flyers guilty of a lot of turnovers the other night against New Jersey, trying to shore that part of their game up. Here's Briere cutting on in for Van Riemsdyk. It went off his stick. AVR does well to get it back to Briere in the corner. He couldn't hang on to it though, and then Columbus comes in to tie the puck up. And it bounces free to Mark Mathot, 26-year-old defenseman. And now we got a fight. Wayne Simmons has dropped the gloves. He will go with Derek Dorsett. And these two probably have seen each other before. Simmons being out in the West, playing Columbus Live. Simmons gets the right hand free and pounds away. Dorsett down, he gets back up, but the linesmen are going to jump in, and now Dorsett tries to fire a left over the top. But Wayne Simmons got that right hand free and did some damage.
It was Dorsett that was bothering Van Riemsdyk on the prior shift, and Wayne Simmons came over and offered up his services to Derek Dorsett, and Dorsett's a tough customer, but Wayne Simmons gave him all that he could handle with a couple of good rights in there, Coatsy.
Oh my goodness, did he ever come with those rights, and he took full advantage of the reach he had on Dorsett.
And so they were separated, Dorsett with some blood. Now get Philly Sports when you're on the go, delivered right to your smartphone. Be the first to know the latest on all of your Philly teams right from the palm of your hand. Download the free CSN Sports app right now. Sitting at home last night, got that alert that Jim Thome had signed with the Phillies.
I know, I couldn't believe that.
It's just a great app, though. You find out anything about Philly sports as it happens. Great stuff. So Dorsett and Simmons go for fighting. 5 each. Legitimate penalty. Well deserved. They both threw punches, and Simmons landed a couple more, that's for sure. Remains 5-a-side hockey. 2.5 remaining in this first period. Here's Matt Carl. Reach back for the puck and now centers it to Yager. Yager spins it to the middle, goes off a stick but kept in. Gustafsson flipping one toward the slot, but that's blocked off by Fedor Tootin. Tootin will shovel one all the way down the ice. This will be icing on the Blue Jackets. Gustafsson back for the touch-up.
Well, plan the party that your co-workers, friends, or family will be talking about all year. Watch live Flyers hockey action from a single event suite and experience incredible food options, wait service, and VIP parking. Reserve your suite today. Call 215-389-9500 or visit mypremiumtix.com. Maybe you'll catch a first period like this one.
Now you've got 4 goals for the Flyers. One fight, you're going to get another fight. Zach Rinaldo is set to go with Cody Bass. Former Ottawa Senator. Rinaldo in his 3rd fight. Bass has the size advantage. You can say that about almost every opponent Rinaldo goes up against. And now some rights from Bass. The jersey comes up over Rinaldo's head, but he comes right back swinging. You gotta love Zach Rinaldo. Oh, he gets hit with a heavy left and then hits the ice hard as he just continued to throw punches. The jersey came up over his head. At that point, you say, oh, this is trouble. Rinaldo actually came out swinging, and Bass gesticulating as he goes to the Columbus locker room. He's excited about his performance. Rinaldo will head to the Flyers locker room.
Cody Bass was talking to Simmons earlier, right, trying to get things going. This time he talks to Rinaldo, and Rinaldo says, yeah, no problem. I'd love to fight you. And both guys drop their gloves and go at it.
Boy, that's amazing. I mean, Rinaldo, obviously, we've seen him going. He uses his whole body. He can flat out go, but so can Bass. And what's interesting about this fight is how the sweater comes up over Rinaldo's head, because his tie down, which has to be on, stayed on, but the rest of the sweater came right up in the front. Let's see how this comes up. Seems like Bass gets a hold of the front of it, just pulls right up and up over the head of Rinaldo. As you can see, both of them firing it pretty good.
My biggest concern there was Rinaldo's head when they went down. Hopefully, he seemed all right when he got back up, but boy, he's got a big guy landing on him, and the head doesn't hit the ice. Point shot, and the save made by Alan York as he had to deal with some confusion in front. That's the kind of confusion that Peter Laviolette likes to see from Scott Hartnell, trying to make life difficult for enemy goaltenders.
Yeah, nice job again by Hartnell, trying to get in the face of the goaltender, especially a young goaltender that's a big guy, 6'4" in between the pipes there, so there's some good size on the Columbus netminder, and Scott Hartnell was trying to impair his vision.
RPI product. Alan York actually 4th on the depth chart for Columbus. He started training camp, but they've had a couple injuries to Curtis Sanford and another goaltender who might have been the backup for this club, and it's York who's getting to play in relief with Steve Mason from time to time. Rick Nash trying to dig loose a puck at the side of the net. Goes back to the point. Wisniewski all the way across to Tootin. He flips one wide of the net. 1:40 remaining. Flyers with a 4-0 lead. Don't want to give one up here. Nash checked by Giroux. The puck goes out to center ice. Rick Nash has led this Columbus team in goals 7 consecutive seasons. He is the face of the franchise. They've been trying to build around him, and it just hasn't worked to this point. He is a really good hockey player. Derek Brassard. Checked by Lilia. Talbot moves it ahead and takes the return feed. 3-on-2 for the Flyers. Talbot, the right wing feed, Voracek. Voracek across for Hartnell, a shot! And York got across, batted that away. Back out in center it goes. Nice little sweep check there by Mazzaros. Gotten back by R.J. Umberger, and he'll play it in. I have not mentioned Umberger's name a whole lot here in the first period.
Columbus has been chasing the puck all night. Their forwards very late in helping out their defensemen, and the Flyers have had numerous odd man rushes where on a couple of occasions, the goaltenders have come up with some pretty good saves.
Mazzaros ahead to Voracek. Voracek's pass in the middle. He's got Wellwood. Wellwood to Mazzaros. Turnaround shot. That one not going through the slot. Back out. Voracek. Shot! Score! Jake Voracek sails it home. And he gets the goal against his former club. How sweet that has to be for him. Not for Arneal, but for that guy. Voracek scores for a case of tasty cakes, ends his goal-scoring drought, and makes it 5-0 Philadelphia.
All about the screen in front. It's Eric Wellwood that provides it, and it's just a quick shot by Voracek that gets through that traffic. Not sure if Wellwood get a piece of it or not, but he's not going to say anything as Voracek gets a goal against his old team.
Going by the reaction, I think it's Jake's goal. And yeah, I don't think a rookie's going to go take one away from a guy who's been scoring against his former team. But we'll see. Maybe Wellwood will get an assist on the play. He did touch the puck in the sequence. And they're giving the assist to Talbot, but I think it would be 47, not 27.
Well, there's the shot from Voracek, and it just sails through all the traffic. Wellwood took a swing at it and missed, and York was not very lucky in the goal.
There's Wellwood with a shot that goes wide. And now it's Powell back out there. Maybe Talbot did touch the puck in there to get that assist instead of Wellwood. And here is Zolnarchuk now cutting in. Shot and the save made by York. It's already a season high for the Flyers in goals per period. They almost added another tally. And Zolnarchuk was denied some pushing and shoving, but nothing too serious here. A great period for the Flyers. They outshoot the Blue Jackets 18-8 and outscore them 5-0. Jake Voracek, a couple of points against his former club. Tonight's Flyers Blue Jackets first period was brought to you by McDonald's. Start your day with a fresh premium roast coffee. Get any size for just 89 cents only at McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. Downstairs we go to Steve Coates with Max Talbot.
Max, it would appear that you guys came out here and wanted to dominate in the offensive zone, and it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're a dangerous team when we play with the puck. And tonight it's about, trying to not create turnover, put the puck in the offensive zone, and definitely have an attempt on that.
Let's talk about your goal, because you just took off in the neutral zone. Were you a little surprised that nobody picked you up when you got to the dot?
A little bit, but when you play with speed, like Jake had some speed, and we did a nice play driving the net, and it opened up some stuff, so it feels good.
Thanks very much, man.
Thanks a lot.
Max Talbot playing some great hockey for the Flyers since his arrival from Pittsburgh. John Borick and Bill Clement will analyze a spectacular first period for the guys in the white jerseys. An outstanding first period for the Flyers. They score 5 goals. There are the other numbers, Jonesy, and not too surprised that most of them favor the Flyers.
Yeah, Flyers just dominating that first period. The power play picks up a goal, and 17 shots on goal. Tell the story, Steve Mason comes back in goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He was pulled after the third Flyer goal and saw his partner come in, Alan York, and get beat by 2 more. So Scott Arniel goes back to Steve Mason, and Scott Arniel was late coming out for this faceoff. He just got there.
Well, as you pointed out, Jonesy, he did everything a coach could do in period number 1. All this time out, pulled his goal. Actually, in reverse order of that, he had his enforcers go out, and they dropped the gloves. Not much else he can do. The players have to turn it up for the Blue Jackets. They go back to Mason. And they go to work in the offensive zone here. Johansson stopped at the side of the Philadelphia net. For the Flyers, they have to show that killer instinct. They have lacked it a little bit. They had that 2-0 lead against the Devils in their last game. They don't want to let up. They have a big lead here, but they want to finish off the Blue Jackets. Here's Vermette trying to center, loose puck in front. Jabs through to the corner, and Vermette gets back to it. But the net is off its moorings. And so play is stopped, and they'll move the face-off out to center ice.
There's Steve Mason, who's had a real difficult time of it of late. Pulled in back-to-back games, and you can see the numbers right there.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable.
10 of 13 games, allowing a goal on one of the first 4 shots, and Scott Arniel has had to deal with that.
Well, that doesn't help any hockey team where you're sitting on the bench and you're watching those goals go in so easily all the time. It just absolutely deflates you right off the get-go.
Yeah, early on in the game, it sets the tone. Flyers keep the puck in. Mazaros' shot and the save made by Mason. And now it's cleared to center ice. Mazaros knocks it down. James Van Riemsdyk Andreas Lilja, and now back to Mazzaros. Flyers have had their second period issues. They want to follow up that big first period with a solid stanza here. They only scored 8 goals in the second period all season long. Backhanded, and it makes it to the safety netting, so play is stopped. Gives us a chance to show you the Toyota Cup standings. Claude Giroux, a 9-point lead over Scott Hartnell. Not surprisingly, that top line for the Flyers, 1, 2, 3 in the standings. Player with the most points at the end of the year donates money to his favorite charity, courtesy of Toyota.
Giroux and Jágr both with goals in the first period, and they continue to rack up the points. Out there again for this face-off.
And the Flyers get to the puck. Hartnell trying to center and does to Jágr in front for Giroux. Could not make connection on that shot. Now Timonen to Hartnell, back for Timonen. He finds Coburn. Coburn sent it in front, and Mason able to find that one. And Corralt will take the whistle.
Some more really quick puck movement from the Flyers. Timonen and Coburn jumping in, helping out in the offense with Jágr, Giroux, and Hartnell just dangling with that puck. Some terrific passing through the slot area, and then a good heads-up shot there with Giroux cruising through the crease.
I don't think you want to let them to have the puck on the perimeter all the time. That's what Columbus is doing right now.
Claude Giroux had a handful of jersey on his way in the forecheck there. Got away with it. Hartnell with the puck for Philadelphia. Across to Timonen. Right back to Giroux, and now Coburn a shot, and Mason into the butterfly makes the save. So again, rubber being fired Mason's way.
Yeah, just being snapped around in the offensive zone. Coates's dead on. Way too much room around the perimeter, and then the Flyers finding those seams, breaking through and getting some quick shots on goal.
Maybe noticing a lot of the Flyer players, their mustaches beginning to appear here as November moves along.
Yep, November.
In support of prostate cancer awareness, initiative by the National Hockey League. By the end of November, there'll be some good mustaches to look at. Eh?
The Anaheim Ducks started that last year and got really heavily involved. George Peros was leading the way.
Imagine that.
What happens if you can't grow one?
You know, if you have mustache, I think you're supposed to shave it off to start the month and then let it grow back in. And Vermette, they say onside, inside-outside move all the way around and lost an edge. Centered it and it deflected wide. And Riemsdyk gets to the puck for Philadelphia. His outlet off the stick of Harry Zolnarchuk. He'll still pursue it, but Klitzum gets there first. Pass to Johnson and into the Philadelphia zone. Both teams will change up. Matt Carl. Get to Gustafsson. He's just going to clear it ahead for Max Talbot. Talbot all the way across. He's got Voracek, but Voracek is stripped of the puck. This play made by Atkinson, and Voracek gets it back. Gains the Columbus line and shovels it back around behind the net. John Moore is checked by Briere. Now Atkinson behind his net. Voracek got in his way. Briere a chop at it. Voracek trying to get it back to Briere, but instead it's Derek McKenzie going the other way. McKenzie will pump it into the Philadelphia zone and chase. Andreas Lilja there. McKenzie, leading hitter for Columbus, adds another to his total there as he got a piece of Lilja. Back out it goes now to Wisniewski. He can fire it. There's the blast. That one blocked in front. Sat there. They fished for it. Briere couldn't come up with it. Shot save made by Brizgalov. He robbed Sammy Paulson by flashing some leather.
Heck of a save there by Brizgalov. He hasn't been tested a whole lot in this game, but kept his mind active and came up with a huge glove save there. It's some traffic in front, but Paulson just finds that loose puck and fires a quick snapshot.
Boy, I love to be able to the reaction of Brizgalov, but everybody did a good job in clearing the area, allowing Brizgalov to be able to see that puck. As much as Paulson came up with the puck out of nowhere, that was a real nice glove save.
Timo Timonen into the puck for Philadelphia. And a long outlet from Hartnell finds Jágr. He was pretty much in a Lone Ranger rush there. Puck poked away. Blue Jackets have it back. Here's Paulson, defensively minded forward. One time a Selke finalist. And the Cup winner in Anaheim. Puck back to Tootin. His shot is blocked off. And Giroux looking for Hartnell, and he's got him. What a pass. Hartnell now will move it in. Wrapped up by Wisniewski. The puck pops through. Jágr looking for it. He's fended off. Paulson, but Coburn to the puck, and his shot went off the outside of the post. And also going to stick it in the post. And he stepped out as Mason was there. Just over 4 minutes into this second period. Johnson backhanding, and Nash will ram it into the Philadelphia zone as the Blue Jackets change. Flyers also finishing some changing. Timonen gets it at to Briere. Danny Briere knifes in, fakes the shot. Tries to swing wide to the right. It's tied up as he does so by Klitzum. Into the corner, big hit on Hartnell. He went down. He was hit by Aaron Johnson. He went right back at Johnson. Now it's Broussard playing it up, getting it back, and then tipping the puck to Klitzum, and he'll look to start the rush. Little Chris Russell in the lineup for the Blue Jackets. They're diminutive puck-moving defenseman. That puck ahead to Derek Dorsett. He's back in play, obviously, after that fight of the damage he received from Simmons. Broussard turning with it. Down behind for Dorsett. Tries to track it down in the corner. Backhands, but good defensive position by Briere. Kept it away from Johansson and moves it ahead nicely to Van Riemsdyk, quickly to Simmons. Back to Van Riemsdyk. Cutting on in, Van Riemsdyk looking for Briere. It's blocked off, goes behind the net. Good puck movement there, though, by the Flyers right from their own end into the offensive zone. Long pass here to Johansson for Dorsett. The pass was in his skates. Johansson after it. It is checked. The Flyers move it ahead. Simmons. Pass in the middle. Handled by Van Riemsdyk, and he'll just chip it deep into the Columbus zone. Better Tootin is back. He is checked by Couturier. And Calvert will throw it back around behind the Columbus net. And that puck deflected all the way down into the icing, and the Flyers win the race. But Calvert, with all kinds of speed, gets there to cancel the icing as he beats Mazaros to it. Now he has the puck. Overskated behind the net. Goes back after it. Ronaldo ties him up. The puck bouncing in the air in the circle now. Lilia trying to chop at it. Ronaldo after it. Down goes Vermette. Penalty. They're going to say the free arm. Oh, holding will be the call. Columbus power play when we get back. Timonen. There's a shorthanded rush for the Flyers. And they are penalized. Lilia in the box for holding. First power play of the game for the Blue Jackets. The power play has been struggling of late as well. Talbot with a pass to Giroux. Giroux moving in on Wisniewski, slows down, sees nothing right away, so he'll float it across for Timonen. A little head fake from Timo, but lost the puck along the boards. Columbus gets it back. Columbus won for its last 18 on the power play over the last 4 games. And for the season, second from the bottom in the NHL. Matt Carl to it, and his pass on the money. Flyers will move up, a shorthanded rush. It's a 2-on-1, it's a 3-on-1. Couturier with the puck. Couturier to Cover to Couturier. He scores! The 18-year-old has himself a shorthanded goal. It is 6-0 Philadelphia. Couturier scores for a case of tasty cakes. Or a check. Couturier came for that guy in the trade. Thanks to dividends here tonight.
Certainly are. And look at this. 3 Flyers on the rush and just 1 Columbus Blue Jacket back. Beautiful feed from Coburn, and Couturier buries it.
Isn't it great to see a young player being really unselfish here, getting the puck back into the slot and then getting prepared to get the puck back, because that's the way you're going to score goals, and he just got that inside the pipe.
There's Couturier looking for more. Couturier with Wellwood in front of the net. Couturier continues to hold on and then banks it back out to center ice. That's the kind of savvy you just don't think you're going to see from an 18-year-old right there.
And not the kind of defense you're going to see from a team that's down 5-0. Have 1 guy back on the power play, lackadaisical play from the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is not pretty.
It is something less than that. You're being too nice from a Columbus perspective. It's a thing of beauty for the Flyers. Coburn and Eric Wellwood getting assists on that goal. So Wellwood has himself a National Hockey League assist this season. He had 1 last year in 3 games with the Flyers. And another couple of points for Flyer rookies.
He's an NHLer every time you see him play up here. He just fits. I mean, I don't think he lights it up by any means down in the American Hockey League, but he's certainly a guy that's got some great hockey sense and does a real nice job every time he wears that Flyers uniform.
Giroux firing this one across ice. He actually did have 4 goals and 8 points in 8 games with Adirondack this year. His point total's up from last year, at least early on, but he actually impressed Peter Laviolette and Eric Wellwood in training camp, and much I think it was his play then as it was the 8 points that he has at the AHL level now that got him this promotion. But Well, there are injuries. You don't like to have injuries, but I do know Peter Laviolette wanted to get a look at him, and he's certainly doing nothing to disappoint. Claude Giroux swarmed upon as he gets to the Columbus line. Flyers are back to full strength. They have their second shorthanded goal of the year, and a 6-0 advantage. Push it up the wall. There is Coburn. Around behind the net. That one gets through a couple of Flyers. Gustafsson over. Kept it in. The Flyers have it, but the pass for Hartnell's tipped away. Now numbers the other way for Columbus. It's a 2-on-1. McKenzie has the puck. You'll wind. Fire, and Brizgalov calmly flicks it aside. The pass out in the middle, intercepted by Briere. He hands off to Claude Giroux. Penalty upcoming against Columbus. Delayed call. Giroux will throw that one in, and Columbus did not play the puck. Lilia back around behind, and that one is cut off by Johnson. And so the whistle and a power play for Philadelphia.
What an impact the rookies have had for the Flyers in this game. Zonacek early has an opportunity right there from Zach Rinaldo. Then it's Couturier heading to the net. Rinaldo shot. It's Zonacek again in alone. It's Gustafsson getting his first National Hockey League assist, and it's Couturier, the 18-year-old, burying the last Flyer goal. Young guy's getting a lot of minutes and doing a heck of a job.
And up to 20 points now for Flyer rookies this year out of Ottawa. 8 of them have contributed, or at least have played as rookies. Not all of them have contributed points yet, but very impressive when you consider so many of these new faces that we've talked about with this club, Jonesy, are rookies. You're going to have some growing pains. This team's still pretty darn good here in the early season.
Yeah, the chemistry's looked really good over the last few games, and these young guys just fit in nicely wherever they're slotted. If it's a top line or if they're playing on the fourth line.
At Calvert off. We're hooking. Flyers to the power play. That puck skips out of play off of a Columbus Blue Jacket. The face-off will stay in the Columbus zone as Eric Gustafsson gets some attention from Jim McCrossan. Tonight's IDAV Edition telecast brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Larger selection, lower prices, smarter associates. H.H. Gregg, we help. Along with our great crew from the Wells Fargo Center. Flyers and Blue Jackets. Carl's shot goes wide. He's looking for a redirect. Flyers recapture the puck. Voracek wrapped up, still able to control one hand. The pass to Carl across to Timonen. Timonen has a look. Running out of room and time. He gave up the puck to Toot. Could not clear. Carl keeps it in to Voracek. He'll spin it around behind. Eric Wellwood getting some power play time, but his backhanded pass there knocked down and cleared all the way down. Flyers will change. As Carl goes back to play the puck. We passed the midpoint of regulation time. Flyers scored 5 in the first, 1 more here in the second. They work with a man advantage. And Riemsdyk winding it in. Simmons ties up his man. Briere to the puck. He'll spin it back out to Mazzaros. Across for Coburn. One-timer goes wide and by Briere all the way down.
You know, when things go bad for you, everything goes bad. Columbus can't get anything going in the offensive zone. They can't do anything in the right defensive zone. And they can't prevent the Flyers from doing what they want to get the puck here in the power play.
Riemsdyk couldn't handle that pass, but the Flyers quickly get it back. Half-minute remaining in their power play as they start up. And Riemsdyk with some ice to work with. Pumps it in and chases. He'll get to it. Take the hit as he played it around. Out it goes to Mazzaros across. Coburn back to Mazzaros. Lines up in the slot. Briere turns back to Coburn and he missed it high and wide. He goes off the glass, stays in play, and is cleared by Vermette down the ice.
I think Coburn was surprised he had as much time as he did. Beautiful feed from Briere, and Coburn, I think, had a little bit of a roll up on his stick before he shot that puck.
Simmons muscling his way in. Simmons didn't realize he had more room than he thought behind him there as he turned his back. Still got the puck to Briere. Out in front looking for Hartnell, but it was cut off. It's 5-a-side hockey again. Here's Dorsett with a pass across for Feder Tootin. And he'll drill one into the midsection of Brizgalov, and he decides to cover up. 8:10 remaining in period number 2. Sean Couturier has joined the scoring parade for the Flyers in this one. It's 6-0.
Experience hockey outdoors under the lights when the Adirondack Phantoms return to Philly to face off against the Hershey Bears on Friday, January the 6th at 7 p.m. as part of the Flyers outdoor games. Tickets go on sale Tuesday at 10 a.m. Call 215-218-PUCK or visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
Face off to the right of Brizgalov. Flyers gain control. Hartnell will clear. It goes all the way down. So faceoff will come right back into the Philadelphia zone after the icing touch-up.
Well, Peter Laviolette has to like the starts that his team has had of late. Jumped all over the Buffalo Sabres with 3 goals in the first 6 minutes. Buffalo climbed back in that one. The Flyers held on. Devils, they got up 2-0 on, and the Devils ended up winning that game in a shootout. Tonight, they just kept pushing, and they've got a 6th spot on the board.
There's a shot by Mathot that takes off and finds glass. And Vinny Prospel gets to the puck and the whistle. Out play. We've got a penalty here. It must be on Columbus because Paul Dvorsky blew the whistle when they touched the puck. Rick Nash is the one pleading his case.
I think he hit Timonen. Now Timonen to the ice, get a little bit aggressive in front of the goaltender Brizgalov. Nash didn't like the call, but it's going to be a high stick to Rick Nash. Let's see if we can pick it up, Jonesy.
Yeah, right here in front, it's Nash's stick that catches him just a little bit. Earlier in the first period, there was a lot more contact when Kimmo Timonen's helmet got knocked off, so maybe Kimmo had some words and alerted the referees. Kimmo Timonen draws that penalty.
So the Flyers back to work with a man advantage. And they win the draw. Voracek starting on the point. Rossi goes to Timonen. He'll move in. Timonen has his head up. Delivers the pass now. All the way out as Hartnell tried to find Voracek, but that one winds up back in Philadelphia ice. Flyers have scored a power play goal in this game. It came more about a broken play, though. They're still trying to find their rhythm with a man advantage. Of course, they're still missing Chris Pronger. The good news is Chris Pronger is skating. In fact, took part in the practice with the club today and skated hard afterwards and spoke to the media and seemed pretty darn positive about how he's feeling. Says the vision is back completely in the eye, and it's a matter of getting his hand-eye coordination back and his stamina. It's possible he could play Wednesday in Tampa. If not then, perhaps Sunday in Florida. The Flyers only 1 game over the next 8 days. There's Timonen into Jagr. Jagr jabbed that one back to Carl at the point. That's Jagr again. To Giroux, quickly to Kyle, off to the other side of the ice. Van Riemsdyk in front. It went off of Simmons. He couldn't corral it out of his skates, and the Jackets able to clear.
Scary how good Jagr and Giroux are in handling that puck up near the offensive zone blue line. So careful with it. Never seem to turn it over and always seem to be in the right position to receive a pass from one another.
Jagr with the pass. Van Riemsdyk, the backhander, saving the net is off its moorings. So play stop.
Well, let's take a look at our Taco Bell value play of the game. Look at that pass from Voracek. Talbot, look at Talbot. He just put the worked really hard to the net, and that allowed Voracek to be able to see him, get a nice pass right through, and then it was just a matter of waiting for Mason to be able to split the pads and bang, 5-0 goal. And that's our Taco Bell value play of the game.
You know, Jones, you go back to what you were saying about Jagr and Giroux. I almost feel like there should be a disclaimer, though. Don't try this at home. Don't try this if you're a normal player. Some of the plays they make at the blue line. You say they're careful, but only because they're so good, right?
Yes, and they can protect the puck so well. They use their bodies to hide it and then somehow find a way to find an open space to fire it across the ice.
They have been magical in their brief time together. Here's Coburn digging it off the wall. Final seconds of the power play. Gustafsson trying to get that in the slot. It's tipped away, and out of the box is Nash. Coming back is Coburn. Nash grabs Coburn. He could have easily gone right back to the box there. They let that one go as Coburn throws the puck down the ice. That's a frustrated captain right there.
Yeah, and in fairness to Nash, he's coming out from the penalty box, and Braden Coburn's already in full stride. Coburn, one of the fastest skaters in the league as it is. But Nash is no slouch in that department. He's hacking and slashing and cross-checking everybody.
Yeah, he just got a piece of Couturier with a cross-check. Goss going to haul this puck in and take the whistle with 5:20 to play in period number 2. 6-0 Flyers. Great chemistry in this line. We asked Scott Hartnell, if someone asked him 10 years ago if he'd ever been playing with Jaromir Jagr, what would his response be?
I would have said, "I'll eat my shoe." No, it was pretty crazy when we signed him #1, and now my family, my dad, and they're like, "Oh, imagine if you guys were playing on the same line. I'm like, I probably won't be playing with him, you know. Probably would be with Danny being somebody or something, you know. Played with him the last couple years, and now we're playing a line together and doing well.
Doing very well. They are piling up points. There's a shot that is deflected wide of Ilya Bryzgalov. It's cleared down the ice. I think we should point out, too, it's not like he's just freeloading and riding the coattails of those two guys. His style of play has really fit in on that line.
Giroux and Jágr were both playing decently. They've been playing great with Scott Hartnell on that line, and he deserves a lot of credit for doing the grinding and working hard in the corners, and also some heads-up plays from Scott Hartnell, who did not get off to the best start in training camp.
There are the numbers in their last 7 games. They played 1 game together, didn't get any points in their first game together, and then in the last 7, they have been lights out. Here's Jake Voracek moving to center ice, checked from behind, but carrying on is Max Talbot. Talbot is checked by Klickson, and Klickson able to come away with the puck. Tips it ahead, and here's Derek McKenzie, the right wing feed for Atkinson. He'll line up and fire. Bryzgalov the save. Puck just sitting out there. Who will get to it and get control? It's finally jabbed behind the net, and Voracek dips back to get to it for Philadelphia. Bryzgalov now 12 saves on 12 Columbus shots in this game. He hasn't been busy, but he's had some testers. Zaros turned back at the red line. Cross to Andreas Lilja. Right back to Mazaros. And blasted in from the red line. Round it goes. Riemsdyk surging to it, centers it in front. Simmons, he scores! What a setup by Van Riemsdyk, and then Simmons, some good hands in tight. And the Flyers now lead by a touchdown. It's 7-0. Simmons scores for a case of Tasty Cakes.
Very deserving of a goal tonight. He fought Derek Dorsett in the first period, stick it up for James Van Riemsdyk, and it's Van Riemsdyk that does the work here in setting up his line mate Simmons. Beautiful backhand feed and a nice move to the backhand by Wayne Simmons.
And you know, JVR's job is to be the first guy in there when you get that wheel around, and he did a great job of getting that puck. But how about the Simmons move in tight, where all of a sudden he's right on the top of the goal crease and made the little move from right to left to get it by Mason.
Picks up his 99th career National Hockey League point. Nifty little goal, as Cosi said, in tight. 7-0. The Flyers now have the extra point.
And Simmons still looks angry, which you like. You're up 7-0. You just scored a big goal. You had a big fight, but he's still got a look on his face that he wants more. And that's what you're looking for.
Danny Briere also getting an assist on that goal. He has a couple of helpers in this one. Flyers looking for more. Here's Carl in. The backhander, he scores! Wow. An absolute explosion here tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers. Make it 8-0 as Matt Carl beats Steve Mason. And the rout is truly on.
You get the feeling you might want to save some of these. They are some picture-perfect goals. Carl kicks that pass up from Van Riemsdyk off his skate to the backhand and roofs it.
That's just one-on-one hockey there. I mean, Matty Carl just dropped that shoulder and then straight around Calvert. And you can see Rick Nash, and you can see it when he skated by me. He is just absolutely, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go beyond that and not say livid, fed up.
Exasperated, I mean, as the Flyers go back to get the puck, those two Flyer goals separated by just 20 seconds. Another fight going on as Wisniewski is on Harry Zolnarchuk, and that one ends quickly. And I'm not sure a whole lot got done there. Zolnarchuk's going to head off to the Flyer locker room, and Wisniewski will head to the Columbus locker room after a quick scrap. Monday night, get total Eagles-Bears coverage. Comcast Sportsnet at 5, Philly's top sports writers prepare you for the matchup. Daily News Live at 7, watch a special edition of Eagles Extra live from the link. Then at 7:30, get expert analysis and live reports on Eagles pregame live. Total Eagles coverage starting Monday night at 5 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Carl from Van Riemsdyk and Briere, 20 seconds after Simmons from Van Riemsdyk and Briere. The Flyers now lead this one 8-0. Riemsdyk now a 3-point night. Briere 3 assists. The Flyers have hit 8 goals for the second time this year. They like their position a lot better this time around, though, as they lost their last time with 8 goals, 9-8 to Winnipeg. This time they're up 8-0.
The big question mark coming into the season was where would the goals come from, with Richards and Carter moving on. And the questions early on have been answered in a couple of games where they've racked up a bunch of goals.
And it's been a balanced attack tonight. All but 4 positional players for the Flyers. All but 4 have registered points. Only 4 have not. There's still over a period of hockey to play. Voracek to Wellwood for a shot. Save made, Mason. Wellwood bidding for his first National Hockey League goal. Nash will move it to Fedor-Tutin. And now Vinny Prospal. Off to Nash for a shot that's blocked off by Gustafsson. Gotten back by Prospal. He'll turn and fire from the angle. Save Brizgalov. Talbot ahead to Wellwood. 3-on-2 for the Flyers. Again, an odd man rush. It's slow in developing, though. Wellwood will just wind and blast a rocket, but it's off the glass all the way out to center where Coburn has to go back and gather. He'll bank it and off of the stick of Gustafsson into the Columbus zone. So we tick down to 2 minutes remaining in this second period. Flyers have scored 3 here and only scored 8 second period goals all season coming in, but they have added 3 to their total here tonight. And they have followed up their first period with a solid period of action. Simmons to Van Riemsdyk. Quick shot, save made by Mason. Back around behind, and that's cut off by Aaron Johnson. In his second stint as a Blue Jacket, he'll fire this one through the neutral zone. Out of the net as he's got off to play it past Atkinson, out to Briere. Touch pass. Van Riemsdyk back to Briere. Briere cutting to the slot, holds, and then his pass is tipped away by Johnson, and it goes out of play.
Well, let's take a look at our Wells Fargo great check of the game. Former Flyer R.J. Umberger's involved in this one as he'll take on Harry Zolnachek right along the wall there as Zolnachek, with his speed, he wanted to make a little move to get by Umberger, but Umberger just stood right there at the red line. Harry Z had his head down, and Umberger with a pretty good check for our Wells Fargo great check of the game.
I got to tell you, that might be the only time we've mentioned Umberger's name, though. He just hasn't been involved in this game, and he's usually a guy that's right involved with both offensive and defensive play.
That's how bad things are for Columbus, because you're absolutely right. Not that often you don't mention Umberger's name throughout a broadcast. He's normally all around the puck.
Mark Methot takes the puck away from Claude Giroux and lobs it out to center. Yager's there. Tip pass ahead to Giroux, and now Hartnell right back to Giroux. Giroux takes the hit from Methot as he moves it around behind the net. Into the final minute of this period. They're still pursuing the puck with vigor in the offensive zone. Fedor-Tutin will turn it through Methot. Cody Bass will throw it out center, and it finds Derek Dorsett. Dorsett trying to go wide on Lilia. One hand's a shot wide of the net. Bass will try to center. That's cut off by Hartnell. At Giroux, and he'll clear the zone. Back. The play was Moore. Takes the return feed. Fakes the shot. Goes wide. Mazzaro's pursuing him. And we're getting the Mason chant out of the Flyer fans, showing no mercy. As this puck is thrown ahead, Zach Rinaldo's after it. Rinaldo trying to drag the puck through, but could not get around Johnson, and the Blue Jackets move back with numbers the other way. There's Johansson to Johnson, back to Johansson, shot, save, Brizgalov. Now Calvert has it. Calvert trying to walk in front, but play is stopped with 8 seconds remaining in the period.
Rinaldo's going to get a penalty for a hit on Johnson right here. Johnson walked in to take a shot, and Rinaldo caught him. The referee in the neutral zone made the call. Well, you can get flyered up at the 47 brand store at the Wells Fargo Center. The throwback vintage long sleeve t-shirts and outerwear are perfect to show your support for the Flyers during the fall and winter months. Check out the new Winter Classic styles for men, women, and children. Come down 2 hours prior to a Flyers game, and you can get yourself all set up.
Well, Zach Rinaldo finds himself in the penalty box again. A couple of times, once with the fight. He's the National Hockey League rookie leader in penalty minutes. And leads the Flyers as well as time runs out on a second period that went very well for the Flyers. After 5 in the first, they get 3 on Steve Mason in the second, and they take an 8-0 lead to the locker room after 40 minutes of play. Tonight's Flyers Blue Jackets second period was brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Let's head downstairs to Steve Coates. He's set to chat with a guy who's got to be awfully happy right about now.
Jake Voracek, I guess obviously after being quoted as saying you want to play real good against your ex-teammates, and it came true. How does that make you feel?
Well, I think we had a really good start, when we scored a few goals and then right in the beginning, and I think we played a so far solid hockey game, and it's good.
Well, you've added not only an assist, a goal. How does that make you feel? Tell us about the goal.
Well, I just tried to put it, I just tried to shot it at the end, and I don't think the goalie saw it, and he went in, and like I said, I'm very happy we're playing pretty good as a team, and we just got to stick with it for a third period.
I got to tell you, the assist was pretty good too. Thanks very much, Jake.
Hey, thank you.
All right, Coatsy. Jake Voracek playing a heck of a hockey game. Just about all the Flyers are. John Borek, Bill Clement will analyze this one. Post-game live crew ready in between periods 2 and 3 after this. 0 calories, maximum taste. Two periods in the books, all orange and black and white because they're wearing their white jerseys tonight. 3 more goals for the Flyers in that second period. Sean Couturier is short-handed talent. Wayne Simmons on the board. And Matt Carl, who's +6 on the night. 8-0 Philadelphia.
+6 through 2 periods of play. Came in the -1 on the early season, and now he's +5 so far. 27 shots for the Flyers. Only 2 Flyer skaters without a shot on goal in this game. Kimmo Timonen and Eric Gustafsson as Jeff Carter is looking on. And a box there at his new team, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Carter, of course, out with a broken foot and is looking to get back in there in a hurry.
Yeah, this has got to be tough. He's watching right now the video highlights of this game on the screen, and you can tell it's not thrilling for him. He had a good run with the Flyers. Part of a couple of long runs into the playoffs. He was distraught when he found out about the trade, and it took him quite a while to accept it, and he finally did. And then what happens? He gets the fractured bone in his foot early in the season, so it's been a frustrating start for him, and to have this one go the way it has so far, adding to that frustration for sure. Columbus on a power play. Zach Rinaldo is still off. Minute 30 remaining on his penalty as this third period gets underway. And Nash cannot keep that one in at the point. Rick Nash is back to get it. And he will start up and across the Philadelphia line, but he ran into too many white jerseys, and the puck is sent all the way down.
That's the way it has to feel for Rick Nash. It's like one man trying to beat 4, and Rick Nash took the puck right into traffic there, trying to create some offense for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They had just 14 shots for the first 2 periods, and it was easily handled by the Flyer defense.
And the hope is that the guy we showed you sitting up in the suite will help Rick Nash eventually. They've been looking for a center for Nash for a long time. That shot blocked in front. And now Calvert gets to it, tries to tuck it home. It rattles around in the blue paint. They stuff away. It ends up underneath either Brizgalov or Lilia. And play is stopped. Flyers and Lehigh Valley Dairy Farms would like to thank their guests in section 222. Lehigh Valley Dairy Farms, a proud partner of the Philadelphia Flyers. Back to the Carter-Nash potential duo. There's only a couple of pairs of now teammates that have more goals than Carter and Nash over the last 5 years. They're third. Really, Ovechkin, 7-1. There's not many. There's a point shot that's deflected away, so it's potentially explosive, although you don't know. Is Jeff Carter the playmaker that Nash needs? That'll be the question that will get answered.
That's the question mark when you've got 2 guys that score a lot, and neither guy is necessarily a great distributor of the puck, much like when Olli Jokinen went to the Calgary Flames with Jerome McGinley, and both guys love to shoot the puck, and neither could play together on the same line. You wonder about that with Carter being the center iceman that Rick Nash has always longed for, or is chemistry going to be an issue?
One-time shot, Tootin, and that one whipped away, and Gonzalez then bats it to the boards. Blitzen keeps it in at the point, and across it goes to Tootin. Better Tootin with a wrist shot this time, but it hit Bass and bounced to the corner. And there's still 15 seconds to work with in the power play, but Mazaros will hoist that one all the way down the ice.
It's more interesting to me over the 9-year period that Nash has been with Columbus that they haven't been able to get him that center. 9 years, don't you think sooner or later something would work?
And you can rack that up to the draft because they've had numerous top 10 picks over that span.
Couple who have ended up playing as Flyers. Jared Evan, Jake Voracek.
They would have had another one this year if they didn't trade it, the Jeff Carter deal and Sean Couturier. And you see the damage that he's doing already as an 18-year-old. And the center ice.
And can't help the Columbus cause to see Couturier also having a fine game here tonight, as he is part of the payoff in that trade, of course. Here's Yager trying to get to that puck, couldn't quite corral it at the Columbus line. 2.5 minutes into this third period, Flyers back to full strength. On Moore's pass intercepted by Simmons. His pass for Briere. Briere to Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk trying to set her, and that puck deflected away. Flyers might have had her. One of the teams had too many men on the ice.
Oh no, it was the Flyers. The Columbus Blue Jackets were all yelling because there was definitely 6 on for the Flyers.
Yeah, we can hear him saying 6 through your mic, Coatsy. And of course, I'm not quite sure which bench it is, so I hedged on it. But since the Flyers had the outnumbered rush going in, I guess you.
I backed you up there.
Yeah, that it was the Flyers, but they did not get caught. And Riemsdyk pulls that one around behind to Briere. Briere in front. Simmons is lurking, but could not get to the puck. Moore ahead, and R.J. Umberger will fire the puck in on Ilya Brizgalov, who has seen 16 shots fired his way and gotten in the way of all of them. Oh, here's a turnover. Calvert, the wide fire, and one took off and went wide as it was blocked away. One of those turnovers the Flyers trying to avoid. That one they did not have to pay for, at least not yet. Here's Johnson with a shot. That one batted away by Brizgalov. Back out. Puts him a shot. That one deflects through the slot wide and now back out toward the point. Johnson trying to keep it in. Voracek and Wellwood team to get the puck out of the zone. Sent right back in by Columbus. But there's Matt Carl. He had the +6. You were never +6, Jonesy, I take it?
I was -7 once.
Yeah, we got to tell that story. Here's Voracek with a shot that's blocked. And now Wellwood got it down low. Here's Voracek. Around behind the net. Talbot interfered with by Atkinson. Could not get to it. And Moore will move out to center ice. 20-year-old defenseman from Winnetka, Illinois. That's the puck into the Philadelphia zone.
This might be the night to tell it.
Oh, I think we'll get to it. I think we may have time. Look out here, though. Columbus trying to get there first. They jam away, and Brizgalov held the fort. Puck may have deflected away in front as Vermette was trying to fish that one free. Tootin now bumped off the puck. It's Van Riemsdyk charging back the other way. Couturier's with him. Ronaldo's trailing. There's Ronaldo holding the wrist. Shot is blocked. It's back to Zach behind the net. We'll take it to the corner boards and then back to the point. Lilya's shot. That's snared by Mason. He'll hang on. Before we get to that Keith Jones story, a little more important news to get to. Chris Pronger, we told you, skating today with the team, has the visor on, has not worn a visor since his junior days, but he took part in all the drills, and then, yes, he gave some of the rookies their initiation as he found Eric Wellwood there. There are the numbers. The Flyers have held their own, let's face it, without Chris Pronger, but I think over the last 5 games, there have been areas where you could notice the difference, especially the power play.
And also in maintaining leads. After getting off to quick starts, you miss the veteran presence back there. No question, we talked a lot about the rookies' contributions, but without that number 20 back playing the point, there's going to be some bumps along the way, and there's no question the Flyers will get some of those.
Charles broke his stick on that shot. Voracek centering, loose puck. And off with some sticks and skates, finally played by Cody Bass. Out of town scores. Toronto's good run seems to be coming to an end. Boston, a big lead on those Maple Leafs. Here's the leading Winnipeg. Boston Bruins and Vancouver Canucks have experienced some Stanley Cup Finals hangover. Boston trying to get rid of some of that hangover tonight. A big lead over Toronto. That puck is poked out to center ice. It was interesting. I was looking at the top goaltenders in wins over the last 3 seasons. 3 of the top 5 are named Brizgalov, Miller, and Luongo. They're in the top 5 in wins in the last 3 years, and they're all having some difficulties here in the early season, trying to find their way. I think they'll all find their way before all is said and done this season. There's a pass for Umberger, getting those legs moving. Umberger to the backhand, save Brizgalov. Angle shot from the corner, and that's blocked off As McKenzie couldn't get that one on goal, Colburn got in the way.
Well, you can watch Flyers hockey action this season from a Wells Fargo Center suite. Suites offer VIP parking, incredible food options, wait service, and private restrooms. Affordable luxury is only a call or click away. Call 215-389-9500 or visit mypremiumtix.com. Lots of great views. Jeff Carter's in one of those suites tonight.
Carter aside, a lot of fun being had in those suites tonight. The Flyer fans, not a lot of fun for Jeff Carter. Reyes Lilly will move it ahead. And Hartnell will jab it out through the neutral zone. Better Tootin back to retrieve. He gets to John Moore. Moore up from the minors has impressed the Blue Jackets since his recall. He's going to charge in after this. Lilly gets there though. And hands off to Mazzaros. Ahead for Hartnell, who does not have a point in this game. Played a strong game, but he's no points and even in an 8-0 game.
It's amazing when you look at it because he's been all over the ice.
There's a centering pass off the stick of Bryzgalov. Hartnell has it but couldn't clear there. Wisniewski will take the shot. Save Bryzgalov and dribbled next to him. And a good job by Gustafsson to get it out of harm's way. Giroux will throw it to the other side of the ice. Mathot keeps it in back around behind the net. They wrap it back through Sammy Paulson, drilling that into the slot. And the Flyers get to it. And Mazzaros from the red line will clear it in. Just about 7 minutes into the third. Here's Wisniewski to Mathot. Pass off of Zolnarchuk. And gathered by Vermette trying to dance to the slot. Gustafsson cut him off. Nash picks it up. His pass deflects back out. Picked up by Dorsett. Down low Nash. Nash backhands it across crease, but in the air, and it's gloved by Gustafsson. Gustafsson to Zolnarchuk. Zolnarchuk will fire it diagonally in, trying to get to it. Couturier, and he nearly did for a shot. He had that plan the whole way. You just gotta love the way he thinks the game. He's a half step ahead of a lot of players. Mentally.
Yeah, real smooth the way he skates too. It looks like he's not going that fast. All of a sudden he's passing players through the neutral zone.
There he is again, those long strides. Johnson will beat him to the puck this time and bank it ahead to Brassard. Skilled forward in, drops it off for Prosper. He flings one in, gloved by Bryzgalov, and he'll squeeze it. Just about 8 minutes in, third period. Flyers still lead by 8. 8-goal lead for the Flyers here in the third on November the 18th through the 20th. The NHL, USA Hockey, and the Philadelphia Flyers will team up to present the 2011 USA Sled Hockey Classic at the Virtua Center, Flyers Skate Zone. For more information, visit FlyersSkateZone.com. Ever play sled hockey, Jonesy?
I have not, but I have a great appreciation for what those guys do out there. It's awesome to watch.
It is unbelievable stuff. And it takes talent. I mean,
amazing.
Yeah. You got to get to your -7 story at some point.
I was hoping you forgot by now.
One of these stoppages. You got to get to it. It is a funny story. So many of them are with you. Here's Voracek. That shot deflects into the safety netting. All right. That gives us the opportunity.
Well, we had the 9-8 game the other night.
Yes.
And that brought to mind a 10-8 loss that I had in the minors.
I was there, by the way.
Utica Devils.
Yeah, I was calling
Baltimore
the game on radio.
Skipjacks.
Yeah.
The last goal went into the empty net, and I was convinced that the buzzer already went. It was the 10th goal of the game. It made me -7. I chased the referee around the total rink, and he said, "What do you care? This game is over." I said, "I care because I'm -7. I didn't say it that politely either. And Paul Gardner was the assistant coach at the time, and he came up to me and said the same thing, just shaking his head. And lo and behold, the next night I got called up to the Washington Capitals.
Never to see the minors again.
-7 to the NHL.
There it is. Key to success. All you young players out there, go out and be -7, and you're on your way to the NHL for good.
I had my man.
That's just like your story of the 5 overtime game. You saw the puck might be going in, so you hung out on the ice to get the plus.
Yes, I did.
You did not have a shot in that game, right?
No, I was the only guy on the sheet, I think.
Only
I
player.
had 37 minutes and 50 seconds of ice time, and I spent most of it between the two blue lines, hopping over the boards and hopping back in.
8 periods of hockey without a shot. Here's Atkinson. His shot here is deflected out of play.
Retired shortly after that game.
See, there you go. That's what leads to retirement. So we show the beginning of your career at the NHL level and the end, all in one sequence of play, Jonesy. Matt Carle, not -7, he's +6. Highest for a Flyers defenseman in the game since Mike Rathje.
Wow.
Do you remember him?
Wow.
Back in 05.
Were you ever +6?
No chance. You?
No. No, I was minus 68 one year playing with the Philadelphia Firebirds in
Minus
the American League.
68, Coatsy.
Yeah, we had bad goaltending.
That was a bad. that was a bad game.
Look at Harry Z. Zolnarchuk with his speed here, but he's ridden down and smothered by Mathot. Flyers after the puck behind the net is Ronaldo and Zolnarchuk trying to add a plus to their mark. Couturier. Yeah, 3 rookies on the line. Couturier back to Lilia. Rosai's. Will flip one. That's caught up in front. And Ronaldo got a backhander off as that puck just dropped right in front of him. He got a lot on that backhander. Here's Jágr charging up with it. His shot is blocked and goes off the glass behind the net. And Steve Mason. Mason started, was relieved, and then came back in this game. As he scored goals on both Mason and Alan York. There's a shot on goal by Dorsett. Save Brizgalov. Late jab by Dorsett, and that'll draw a crowd. Marshall. Jim Thome back in town, one of the class athletes you're ever going to run into.
Was hoping he would have came during the stretch run too.
Yeah,
there was talk, right?
They wanted him, but ended up going in a trade to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So he went back to where he started his career. Now he goes back with Charlie Manuel here in Philadelphia. Should be great for Jim Thome next year. Thome, I wouldn't be surprised if he appears at a Flyers game at some point.
Yeah, he used to come by.
Sports fan, yeah. Puck dumped in. Brizgalov to Mazaros. Centering pass deflected away, and then reaching back was Jágr to pick up the puck before a Columbus Blue Jacket could one-time one toward the net. 9.5 remaining. The Flyers help out their goalie in this one. Dorsett, who drew a crowd with that late jab at Brizgalov just as we were going to break. Nothing too serious developed after that. The officials trying to keep peace because in an 8-0 game it can get really out of control in a hurry. There's Mathot moving well, charging in across the line and stripped just as he got to the shooting area. Back to Wisniewski for a big blast, and Brizgalov fought that one off. Bass pokes it free. Brassard after it. Now it's Voracek standing on a pass, and now he loses it to Brassard. Brassard checked. Puck will roll behind the net to Bass. Bass to the corner with it. All the way across now Wisniewski. That one is kept in behind the net. And chopped away from Vinny Prospel and played by Talbot. Talbot to Gustafsson, who by the way is +5 in this game. He'll risk that one wide of Mason. Wellwood behind the net. Talbot quickly moves it to Voracek. Voracek turning with it. Having a look, finds Wellwood. Wellwood a shot, not much on it, went wide out the other side. Carl shot off the outside of the net. Talbot worked down by Brassard. Prospel in with his jabbing around to the other side of the ice. And Cody Bass will clear. Flyers in some offensive zone time. They've spent more time in their own end here in the third, as you would expect. They held off the Dogs a little bit in an 8-0 game, but they don't want to sit back completely either. There's Lilia. Gets that one through. Zaros continues to control. Columbus Blue Jackets on their way to 0-7 on the road this year. That shot from Zolnarchuk is high and goes into the safety netting. 0-10-2 they will be, Coatsy, in their last 12 road games going back to last year.
Not very good. Let's take a look at our Toyota turning point. And there's so many of them, but this is so beautiful, this goal, where Jake Voracek's just going to see Talbot slip in behind the defense of the Columbus Blue Jackets. They got caught napping, and the next thing you know, Talbot with a really nice move on Mason. That made the score 3-0. They always say that 3-0 makes, well, it breaks the back of the other team, and that's our Toyota turning point of tonight's game.
Now, what does they say? The 2-0 lead's the worst lead to have, or something like that? I've never really agreed with that. I still think a 1-0 lead worse than 2-0, but
I'll take any lead.
yeah, they'll take 8-0.
Yeah,
That is for sure.
it's one of the best leads to have in hockey.
Keen analysis from Keith Jones.
Yeah, just one man in, guys. Pick up your wingers.
Puck dumped back into the Columbus zone. And the Blue Jackets will move up here. Puck dumped in by Moore. Brizgalov will stop that behind the net. And almost bounced out in front. Mazaros able to move to Simmons. And Simmons is off. Ringside will chop at it, and it goes into the safety netting. Just less than 7 minutes to play here in the third. We have not seen Kimmo Timonen in a little while on the ice, and have been told he is not on the bench right now. Not sure if it's an equipment problem or otherwise.
Rick Nash had been heavy on Kimmo Timonen in front of the net a couple of times during this game, but can't remember anything else. And it means more ice time for Eric Gustafsson, who's, as you said, Jimmy, a +5 in this game. Picked up his first National Hockey League assist in the first period and has really played well.
Rick Nash getting the legs moving here. 3-on-2 develops, finds Dorsett. Dorsett shot, he scores! Derek Dorsett gets the Blue Jackets on the board. The shutout goes by the boards. Bryzgalov beaten there. A 3-on-2 developed right off the faceoff.
Well, Dorsett's got that fat lip from the punch he had with Wayne Simmons. That'll make it feel a little bit better for him. He's one of the few Blue Jackets that's continued to fight, not just with his fists, but throughout this game. And his head coach gave him some ice time, and he buries that one out. Perfect shot.
It was actually Simmons that was trying to catch him. He was the trailer. Everybody just took off from that face-off. All three Columbus Blue Jacket players, and Dorsett was the trailer. Nobody was there, and all of a sudden you got a one-on-one shot.
Nash will get an assist on that goal. It'll be point number 499 in his career. He's about to become the first Blue Jacket ever to reach 500 points. Bryzgalov will hang on to that puck there.
Well, you can experience hockey outdoors under the lights when the Adirondack Phantoms return to Philly to face off against the Hershey Bears on Friday, January the 6th at 7 p.m. It's all part of the Flyers outdoor games. Tickets go on sale Tuesday at 10 a.m. Call 215-218-PUCK or visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
You're going to see a lot of players in that game that will have played games with the Flyers this year because of the injuries. There's been a lot of transfer between Adirondack and Philadelphia already. But what a thrill that'll be for those AHL players. An outdoor game in a major league ballpark.
Long history with the Hershey Bears, dating back to the Flyers' affiliation with Hershey for a long number of years.
6:22 to play here in this third period. For the Flyers now, their objective, you want to finish this game crisp. You don't want to let it slide here toward the end. Bash takes that puck, and he's going to rev it up to the neutral zone. And across the Philadelphia line, and his wrist shot is smothered by Bryzgalov. He's seeing a lot more rubber here in the third than he had earlier in the game. In fact, the Blue Jackets, 13 shots here in the third. They had 14 through the first two periods.
And the Blue Jackets, of course, down by as many goals as they are, just throw caution into the wind and try to create something that they can take out of this. They don't play again until Wednesday, and you have to wonder if the head coach, Scott Arniel, will still be behind the bench for their next game. Lots of talk was that prior to this game that he would be staying, and general manager Scott Howson would also hold on to his position. But when you lose like this, I've heard many times the team say we're going to stick with such and such, and you lose a game so one-sided that all changes.
Well, they had a solid victory over Anaheim last weekend and followed it up with a loss to Toronto, but they outplayed the Maple Leafs thoroughly, so it was a good effort. Didn't get great goaltending. Here's Voracek fending off a check, and they're getting it back to Carl across ice. Gonzalez's shot blocked. So, you know, it was really two pretty well-played games in a row. They thought maybe they were turning things around a little bit, but boy, that all disappeared here tonight. But, you know, Bryzgalov off a flyer, he guides it away.
I think from ownership's perspective, you look at a game like this and you have to wonder if the players stop playing for the head coach, and that's where the concern comes into play if you're managing the Columbus Blue Jackets or running the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Well, only in his second year. Back around to the other side of the ice. Gustafsson. Poked back to the point. Gets him a shot. That's deflected away. And Johnson around behind the net. Cam Atkinson. Atkinson spinning, moving to the side of the net, and back out. Blitz him a shot. Batted away by Bryzgalov. Atkinson to it again. He's being tough to handle for Couturier here. Atkinson, though, to Calvert. Back to Atkinson. Backhander, and that one stopped by Bryzgalov as he was falling backwards. And now Cookson will send it around behind the net. Bryzgalov got tied up in front of the net. He comes a glove save off of Paulson. Ilya Bryzgalov flashing some serious leather right there as he denies the Blue Jackets. Top shelf performances brought to you by Mazda, and plenty of them. Look at those numbers. 14 players with at least a point, 6 with 2 or more, 8 different goal scorers. First time since 1988 for 8 different Flyer goal scorers in the same game. And Mazda top shelf performance above and beyond the Call of Duty in this one. An 8-1 Philadelphia leaders. Braden Coburn moving up. And the last one that's deflected out of play. 4:21 left in this one.
A lot of guys have gone top shelf in this game too.
Indeed.
Voracek, his quick wrist shot from the blue line went in with a nice screen from Kyle Wellwood. There's numbers that Peter Laviolette will be very pleased with.
Opened it up early. They have been an outstanding first period club, the Flyers. And then they fouled it up with a solid second to just completely blow the game open. And now just trying to finish. Get too sloppy, and they got some time off. Don't play again until Wednesday in Tampa. That game is on Versus. Nash denied there. A good reach in by Eric Wellwood. Flyers play in Tampa Wednesday and then in South Florida on Sunday. In between, they'll spend some time in Naples, Florida. Bonding will go on there. Here's Dorsett again with a pass to Wisniewski. Off to Nash, back in front, and no one was there. Gustafsson will move it out to center ice. The players that were there were covered. There's Olnerchuk moves up, drop pass Voracek. As he back around down low, that one skips through. Voracek picks it up. Voracek for Couturier. He scores! There's a redirect. Olnerchuk was there as well, but I think Couturier deflects it home. Doesn't show all that much excitement because he knows the score. It's the second time we've seen him show that composure as well, but Couturier scores for a case of Tasty Cakes, has a 2-goal night. It's 9-1.
Yeah, you just got to love his attitude. It's Voracek to Couturier, of course, the 2 players that were part of the Jeff Carter deal, and they both top one more in for the Flyers right there.
He's suddenly up to 5 goals, this 18-year-old. He's the leader by far and away in plus-minus among rookie players. He came into the game at +7. He's +1 or 2 in this one, so this is a guy who is really opening eyes. Ronaldo moves the puck back in. Voracek with an assist along with Harry Olnerchuk. That puck kept in play by Mason. A couple more rookie points for the Flyers on that one. Derek Brassard moves up. Pass across to Prospel, dropped it back. Eric Johnson fires one wide side of the net. Bass tried to center. It goes back out. Prospel shot is blocked. Now back out in front it comes. Klitzum has it. His shot is high and wide, and that will skip all the way out to center ice. Couturier, I thought, got slashed, and he is going back one-leggedly, as some would say, to the Philadelphia bench. Deflection score. That one went off of Andre Mazzaros. Ilya Bryzgalov is upset because he's had so many of these own goals with these deflections. Couturier is in some pain on the bench.
Couturier got slashed by Johnson, and then it was Bryzgalov that had Andre Mazzaros redirect the puck right in front of him. And Bryzgalov reacted in frustration. Luckily, this just makes it 9-2, and there's a reaction from Bryzgalov. If you watch him at the end of this play, you'll see him hack the stick.
Yeah, because it didn't have a heck of a lot on. Let's see if we can see the slash here. Oh, he got it right on the edge. At the top of the shin pad, it appeared.
Hopefully he's okay. It's now a 9-2 hockey game. Talbot to Voracek, the backhander, and that one skipped off his face and went high and wide. Grant Klitzum gets his first of the year of Mazzaros. This game has gotten sloppy toward the end, as it usually does. As hard as you try, the game gets out of hand like this, it tends to get wide open like this. So Klitzum with the goal, Prospel and Johnson with the assists. 148, another shot toward the net, batted away, and the Flyers will pick it up and move to center. Talbot has it, and from the red line he'll play it into the Columbus zone. The Blue Jackets move back up ice. It's sent in. Mazzaros in the corner. Flyers get to it. Zach Rinaldo. Rinaldo chips to Zolnarchuk with a step. The shot! And deflected away. Harry Zolnarchuk has that burst. There's no question about it. 3-on-2 the other way. Flyers trying to get back to even it up. Wisniewski couldn't get that one past Lilia. He'll chip it up, and then it's chopped out of the zone by Zolnarchuk. So into the final minute, the fans that remain here at the Wells Fargo Center showing their appreciation, a game that the Flyers put away early. That one deflects in on Brizgalov off a Flyers stick. He's able to glove that one and hang on. How about our Bud Light player of the game, Mr. Jones?
Yeah, Jacob Voracek, a nice showing against his old team. Said he was looking forward to the opportunity. A beautiful feed there to Max Talbot to get one of the early goals set up. He sets up a late goal right there by Couturier, and he picks up his own goal with a quick shot that finds the back of the net. A nice fist pump and picks up a 3-point night.
And that last assist was his 100th in the National Hockey League. And Moore got that one out in front, cleared out of there by Talbot. Set around to the other side. The Blue Jackets showing more hunger in the own zone, in the offensive zone. They've shown much of the game here. Very late pass chopping away. Couldn't get that one home. Flyers to the puck. Talbot diving to try to get it out of the zone. So as we said, the Flyers off until Tampa Bay on Wednesday on Versus. Then we're back with you on Sunday from Florida against the Panthers. The Flyers will play 16 of their next 22 games on the road. That leads up to the Winter Classic, the Bridgestone Winter Classic. 16 of their next 22 away from home, but they've played some pretty good hockey on the road. This one, a job well done by the Flyers. They bounce back from the tough loss to the Devils by pummeling the Columbus Blue Jackets 9-2. Sean Couturier pots a couple, and the Flyers, with all hands on deck, cruise to the easy win.
Yeah, solid team effort, no question about it. There's the numbers right there. Last 9-goal game was back in '97 versus the Montreal Canadiens. Terrific job by all involved, and Columbus catches a couple late goals on that man, but a solid performance nonetheless.
So they hit this little break in their schedule with 8 wins, 4 regulation losses, 2 overtime or shootout losses, 8-4-2. Not all bad with the injuries they've had to deal with and all the new blood.
No, and the goal scoring's there, and that's something you want to develop early. Some guys are putting up some numbers already. That'll be good for the confidence moving forward, and Brizgalov now 3 consecutive wins.
All kinds of numbers to talk about in this one, Jonesy, and amazingly, the Columbus Blue Jackets end up out-shooting the Flyers in this game because they piled some on in the third.
Yeah, it was 27-14 heading to the third period. And so Columbus, when the Flyers sat back, were able to finally generate some offensive opportunities. The hits, Columbus had the edge in that. Flyers, of course, sitting back on that lead, and the power play picks up a goal as well.
A lot of players piling up the numbers for sure. One of them, Sean Couturier's first 2-goal game. He's downstairs with Coatsy.
Sean, when you look at the beginning of this season, you make the hockey club. Now all of a sudden you got 5 goals. Would you have ever dreamt?
Sorry?
Would you have ever dreamt you got off to such a great start with 5 goals to begin your NHL year?
No, I never thought about that. I'm just trying to work hard every game and do whatever I can do to help my team.
What's the biggest change for you since the beginning of the year? Obviously, you come in as a rookie and you're going to learn as you move along from game to game. What's been the biggest transition for you?
Probably the speed of the game, and I mean, guys are a lot stronger than in juniors, so it's a little adjustment, but so far I think it's going good.
Well, congratulations on a 2-goal game, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Sean Couturier, part of a tremendous rookie crop. It's part of this Flyers club. 8 rookies have suited up. Most of them have been quite impressive. Ilya Brizgalov gets another win. 3 in a row now for Brizgalov as the Flyers take care of business against the Blue Jackets, remain unbeaten in this building against them with a 9-2 victory. Tonight's Flyers Blue Jackets game was brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers. Go Flyers, go Toyota. Moving forward. By Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By Wells Fargo, when you're considering buying your first home, Wells Fargo is with you. Wells Fargo, together we go far. And by Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. Flyers aren't in action again until Wednesday night. That game against Tampa Bay can be seen on Versus. The next locally originated telecast a week from Sunday. It's November the 13th down in South Florida against the Panthers. The first of 4 meetings this season between these Eastern Conference rivals. Panthers also trying to mix in a lot of new parts. The Flyers and the Panthers, November the 13th, 4:30 start time with the pregame show. Opening face-off just after 5 o'clock on the Comcast Network. The Flyers led into that stretch with smiles on their faces after this 9-2 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Outstanding performance. Crowd got to see goals, fights, great saves, all kinds of stuff. For the entire crew, as well as my broadcast partners, Keith Jones and Steve Coates, I'm Jim Jackson. Good night from the Wells Fargo Center. And thank you for watching Philadelphia Flyers hockey on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group. Stay tuned now for Flyers Post Game Live presented by McDonald's.